first off, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to be talking to you about the Guinea Pig series and a lot of the film work you do in general. You have a very particular and rare style of exploitation meets art house, and for those that are really strong believers like myself in no censorship, you really reflect that as well too, and show how art can be so grotesque without being painful. So, that being said, before we go on any further, can you tell us a little bit about the background of Unearthed Films and your love for the guinea pig films and how this all kind of came about?
Sure. Unearthed Films is the brainchild of me and my business partner, Paul White. He produced Brad the Reanimator, Society, The Unnameable, a couple other titles. And I fell in love with the guinea pig movies, watching them on bootleg video back in the early 90s. And I was always like, wow, this would be awesome to release to the public to shock them. And lo and behold, that's what happened.
Wasn't Charlie Sheen called the FBI about one of them or something?
Yeah. He turned it over to the MPAA, and they turned it over to the FBI, and they watched it. They're like, yeah, no, this is fake, guys. What are you doing?
Fake news.
So that was fun, and led to a little bit of history about the film series. So with Unearthed, we try to release intense graphic films that usually the mainstream people won't touch. And the horror fans, I always joke, and I say, the horror fans start off, they watch Jason and Michael Myers and Freddy. Then they graduate to Reanimator and From Beyond and Dead Alive. Graduate to Italian movies like Argento and Fulci. Then they start broadening their horizons and hitting up Budgerite, Germany, Necromantic, and Japan. And then they come to us. Because getting the thrill from watching a horror movie is really hard after you've watched thousands of them. So usually the fans do end up as fans of us, because we try to make stuff and try to put out stuff that's heavy hitting, very intense psychologically, visually, and we're all independent. Sometimes I can get my hands on a bigger film, but it's here or there. So we started making our own films.
That was the perfect evolution of a horror fan I think I've ever heard. That was very eloquent, Stephen. That was wonderful. I really like that.
Thank you.
I related to that so hard. I was like, I remember when I discovered that. I remember when I discovered that too. Oh my gosh, that's how I found you here at Unearthed Films. That was so funny. So with the history, now can you tell us a little bit more about the installments that are already available? I actually own both of them, Bloodshock and Bouquet of Guts and Gore. Is it Gore and Guts? I don't know. I always do that when I speak. So,
Guts and Gore. Yeah, no, you got it. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I mean, it's really hard to find such beautiful brutality anymore. We love it.
Wonderful.
So, just tell us a little bit about how it seems we're going with the whole anthology idea with the original Guinea Pig series. A little bit about Bloodshock and Bouquet and how they're different from one another and the styles.
Yeah, I was trying to get the rights for the Guinea Pig movies forever to do remakes. And finally, when the head honcho over at the company decided to retire, he finally said, okay, here you go. So we got the rights. And Bouquet of Guts and Gore, at the beginning of Flower, Flesh, and Blood, they state that they got a snuff film in the mail, and they watched it, and then this is their recreation. So with Bouquet of Guts and Gore, we were like, we're going to make the snuff film he watched. That way it's a perfect tie-in. It's not a remake, it's a prequel. And when people learned that, they're just like, oh, wow, I never thought it. I didn't know that. Hey. So that worked out really well, and Marcus Cook did the effects. and he did such an amazing job. The fans have been digging it, and it's great, and it got us to be able to move to Bloodshot.
Yes, and they're
And
and they're so different, and that's why I'm so excited to talk to you about literally just the difference in the visions that you brought to life here.
yeah, I mean that's the thing because we've already did the snuff film. Snuff film's done and out of the way. And with Bloodshot, we wanted to do like a take on a Devil's Experiment mixed with the Japanese film Lucky Sky Diamond, which wasn't a guinea pig, but everybody thought it was. And I wrote the story, and luckily Marcus was on board. He's a really good director. He directed 100 Tears, Fell, and he was totally game for it. He loved the idea behind it. And yeah. I mean, the film, I wrote that right after a divorce, and it was my take on relationships.
That is just wonderful. I was going to say that's actually quite funny because without giving away any spoilers, I hate spoilers. There's a pretty intense, like romantic, if you will, theme in that one.
Yeah.
I
so
love that.
Luckily,
the more you know.
Yeah, because not many people knew where it came from, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And then when the ending happens, it's just like, I've had a lot of people like amazed at it, and people have done online polls like, "Which one do you like better?" And surprisingly, Bloodshot won, and I'm like, "Oh." But I wrote it, so I'm like, "Yay!"
Yes, that's actually something else I wanted to ask you about too, because I'm really excited to ask you about the next installment of the Guinea Pig series, Song of Solomon. However, before so everyone can be up to speed with us here. Before we go any further, can you explain to everyone listening which ones you actually were a producer, writer, director for, just so everyone doesn't think you were solely one on each film?
Oh, okay. I directed and wrote Bouquet, and yes, it did have a screenplay for it.
I loved it, honestly. I fucking love it.
So I produced that. So produced, wrote, direct, and then with Bloodshot, I wrote and produced that. Marcus Cook directed. Solomon, I wrote, produced, directed, location, costumes, the whole,
Yeah, the whole,
So yeah,
8 days a week thing.
yeah, and with the American Guinea Pig Sacrifice, that was produced by Demiziano Cristofaro and directed by Poison Rouge, our first female director into the fold. I figured people would get excited because everybody's like, "Oh, women in horror," and we're like, "Okay, here you go."
I was actually just saying, like, I can't believe I missed this news for Women in Horror Month, and that was like last month. Oh my gosh, I can't even. I didn't make the connection either with the Flower of Flesh and Blood and the video until you said it. So as you were talking, my jaw was dropped, and I was probably just as excited as everyone else that's going to hear that for the first time.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah, it's little. And the funny thing is you've seen it. The two girls on either bed are named after my two ex-wives.
See, this is what happens when you have artistic freedom. No one gets hurt, and you can let out your anger, people. That is the beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. What another beautiful date night film, Sometimes, that's just when you're like, you haven't been out with her yet? Okay, invite her over, and there's this beautiful film. You're going to love it. It's called Bouquet. Don't worry about the rest. It was inspired by my ex-lovers.
I've done date nights and showed them Cannibal Holocaust.
I love that film. The only thing that kills me is the animal violence in Israel, but it's just such a powerful allegory on media. So
It's a beautiful film.
Okay, so I need to get back on track here because, like I said, this one I'm really, really excited for. Probably because I'm a huge dork for studying different religions or depending on. I'm not very religious myself, so I kind of look at more of like mythology, but I love studying demonology. So, can you tell everyone about the Song of Solomon?
I think anybody who does know theology is going to flip out. for you with mythology, yeah, you're gonna flip out. We used 100% real exorcism rituals,
I'm freaking
and
out, Steven! I'm freaking out!
I had them translated from the Latin book of exorcisms that I got from the Catholic library at the Vatican.
Oh my gosh. Did you sneak
And
by a guard? I can't believe the place didn't burn down.
no, we had a lot of things happen afterwards that everybody blames on it. So so as the years go on, yeah, some of that will go out, but so we used 100% real exorcism rituals, and we tried to show as much of the ritual as possible because we have 3 priests going through 3 acts, going through 3 stages of demonic possession. Think of it like I've had reviewers say that basically it's almost like the 3rd act of The Exorcist, but for the whole movie.
And
And
Jessica Cameron is gonna be in it.
she nailed it out of the park.
Yeah.
Everybody that watches it is just like, oh my God, wow. They're like, whoa, And the wonderful thing was, because we were doing, castings for the lead, because it's the woman that's possessed. And so many people just missed it.
Just missed
They
it. Yeah.
weren't giving me what I was looking for. Because basically it's a demon that knows everything, that's been around since the beginning of time. Yeah, they're not too frail and they know how to manipulate people and this and that. So, but she nailed it because she got exactly what I was wanting. And so, yeah, so I'm really proud of her. And we put her through hell.
She looked like hell, which for anyone who is familiar with her knows that she never looks like anything less than like a beautiful pinup, just sex pot goddess, And she, in the trailer alone, she's astounding. She's an actor of her generation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's all. The really wonderful thing is, I've had people that I've lent screeners out to, and they told me, they're like, dude, I've watched this thing 10 times. It's now my favorite movie, and every time I watch it, I catch more stuff. So it has layers, and I always tell people to pay attention to the dialogue. And because there's so much, exorcism rituals and biblical theory in there, I mean, it's called the Song of Solomon.
Yeah.
Wait till people find out what the song is. It's just taken people by surprise because nobody's done an outrageous gore exorcism film before.
I am dying
and I
here.
Can't believe it.
Gore exorcism.
I know.
I'm freaking out. Like, I've been so excited since you guys announced Song of Solomon. Like I said, I'm a big fan and I follow it. So I can't wait to get like my traditional, like the 3-disc copies you guys put out. And I always go to Bull Moose because if they don't have it, they can get it. They're such a great record store.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. It's been weird because the thing is, we set out to make this and we shot it in 4K. And we finished shooting it. We're watching the dailies. Everybody's giving me high fives and telling me, you just changed your life. And I'm like, oh, dude, stop it. And the thing is, we're done with it. It's finished. And because it's probably the most mainstream guinea pig you'll ever see. So we're actually taking off the American Guinea Pig title off of it.
Wow.
Because American Guinea Pig scares retailers and VOD and distributors and agents. So now we're just calling it the Song of Solomon. But everybody knows it's American Guinea Pig.
Yeah.
But the retailers won't know.
Of course they won't know.
Yeah, they won't know. And I mean, I was just in a conversation with my distributor today, and they're like, Steve, we know the Song of Solomon. We know what you put out. Can you, I know you told us before, can you tell us if there's any genital mutilation in there and rape? And I'm like, no, there's none of that in there. Think of it like Evil Dead or Reanimator or something of that nature. But it does go off the rail. I mean, yes, it is a lot bloodier than all those put together.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I got a container for this one. the eyes on the poster. I'll have to put something up on Twitter. But the eyes from the poster are just fucking amazing. That was one of the first things I remember about seeing. So where can now that that one's wrapped and you got screeners floating, when can general audiences, or well, our really grotesque and disturbed cult following me are, where can we locate the film to either stream a link, whether it be on Amazon? Will you be putting DVDs and Blu-rays out anytime soon?
Yeah, the release date, we haven't made we were just about ready to do the press release this week. The release date is August 14th.
Yay!
And that's when it hits. And and the crazy thing is because it's an exorcism film, everybody's going to try and get it onto Redbox for us and Netflix and whatnot. So let's hope, because if that does, then the American Guinea Pig series is going to keep going for a long time.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to help. Oh my gosh. If there's anything I'm good at, it's never shutting up about the films I enjoy. So here we are, Stephen.
Aw, thank you.
Okay, so there's something I really want to talk to you about before we wrap up here. But before we go ahead and do this, can you just give me a little bit more about Poison Rouge's sacrifice? I need to know about this chapter before I go ahead and ask you about an amazing documentary you have coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Poison Rouge, she did Sacrifice. And basically, it's the take on He Never Dies from the original Guinea Pig series. It's about a man who's sacrificing himself to the goddess Ishtar. And yeah.
Yeah, okay, this is going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, it's self-mutilation to the extreme.
Oh my gosh. Ideally, would you, how flattered would you be if you were watching it and you just saw someone next to you just vomit? Would you be like,
oh, that's...
That's like the most supreme form of flattery.
Yeah, we've had people get sick at Bouquet, Blood Shock, and Sacrifice. People ran out the door and raw.
Have you ever had anybody faint?
So we've had... Yeah, actually somebody fainted at Solomon at the world premiere in Sidges.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
And that was... And what was cool was that, her and her boyfriend got up and they walked out to the lobby and she's like, oh my God, she's like, I just fainted. She's like, fuck. And she's like, but I want to finish this. This is badass. And they went back in. It wasn't like Raw where they called the ambulance, because they're sitting down in a chair. If somebody faints, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's call the ambulance. This dark theater, this chick fainted who I didn't even notice.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was like a thing,
That's some pretty superb flattery. All right. So moving on a little away from the American Guinea Pig series, one of the most controversial films ever made, it's actually personally one of my favorite films ever made, but it tends to be very notorious for how grotesque and how much people hate it. I personally think it's wonderful. Can you tell us all about the documentary you're working on for a Serbian film, what you're going to be exposing, and why it is you were so attracted to this in the beginning? What is it you saw in this film that made you want to do a whole explorative documentary on it?
Well, the film is amazing. I got into a bidding war trying to get it for Unearthed back in the day. I lost. And now we're actually suing the company that released it here.
Haha! Oh, he's trying. Oh.
Yeah, no. So, but the filmmaker's phenomenal. We hang out quite a bit. I actually saw him yesterday. And the thing is, when we got the rights to it, the worldwide rights, he told me he had 70 hours of behind-the-scenes footage. And I'm like, what? No one's ever heard of that or seen it. What do you got? And he showed me, and it's 70 hours of high-def shot footage with professional camera people behind the scenes. The effects, they have over 10 hours of just the effects alone. Wow. So I was like, dude, we ought to make a documentary out of this. And we'll get interviews with people and this and that. And he's like, oh, well, I don't know how the actors and cast and crew will do because, you know, everybody in Serbia hates this film. But the amazing thing is that we started talking to the cast and crew, and they were all up for it. We got interviews with everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Milos, Vukmir, his wife, even the kid who played his son, who's 18 years old now and going to film school.
Oh.
And his actual teacher is the director of photography from a Serbian film.
This is insane. This is so cool.
Yeah, so we got everybody. You know, we did interviews with them in Serbia. The whole, yes, everything. And the wonderful thing is that everybody speaks English as well. So it's going to be a fascinating documentary, and we're actually finalizing it because we're having a Serbian exhibition here in LA. And we're showing the brand new 4K transfer, new color version no one's seen yet. It's gorgeous. We're showing it at a theater, and we're having an exhibition because I had all the props shipped to me from Serbia. I have the baby on a desk right here in front of me.
Newborn porn! That baby?
Yep. Yeah.
Newborn porn!
Yeah. I got the newborn born baby right there.
Oh my gosh, what a prop to have.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I also have his wiener.
Oh no, his little wiener! That just made me think of like the Nirvana photo for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have everything in my house. The storyboards, they're all hand painted. We're going to be selling them.
Oh my gosh.
And what we're trying to do is, you know, they'll be like $150 each, come with certificates signed by the director, but we're going to do it like a lottery. Because going through the storyboards, oh my goodness. Wow. It's just like so much phenomenal stuff to where I'm like, we're going to do it to where, you know, we'll sell all 255 and then we'll do a video announcing the names and showing them the storyboard they get. Because who knows who's going to get the baby storyboards? Because there's three pages of that. You know, the blonde chick that got her head cut off.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Those storyboard pages are like 15 pages alone. So I figured it'd be cool to offer it to the fans to where you don't know what you're getting, but if you get some of these things, I mean, the ending is like 1/3, 2/3 of them almost, because the ending goes for so long that who knows what, and somebody's going to get the 3 pages of baby panels. I don't even know what those would sell for on eBay afterwards. So it's going to be really cool because, you know, we got original stuff because we're also selling the baby.
Oh my gosh.
And the heads.
I'm selling the
bodies. Yeah, I mean, you know, it'll all be on eBay auction right when the gallery opens and we start the exhibition because it's a one-time exhibition because we're hoping to sell everything. And from what I understand, the money will go to the Serjan Spasijevic's daughter for school.
Nice. Now, if you were a fan, and well, I mean, you are a fan, but say you were on the other end of this and you were doing the lottery thing, what would be the storyboard scene that you hoped for most?
Oh God, I mean,
I know, right? There's like, it's just such an aesthetically gorgeous film for such a like a morbid plot. It's beautiful. So I can't even imagine what these storyboards look like. Yeah.
I mean, I went through them all. And I'm like, oh, I want this one. I want this one. And that's the thing. And the funny thing is because I'm doing this like outright for everybody, I'm going to buy like 2 or 3 myself. And who knows what the heck I'm going to get. I don't know. I'm going to do it to where everybody's like happy. And they're like, oh, they did that honorable.
Yes, nice. Do the honorable thing here.
Exactly. And it'll be fun too. Cause I'm sure anybody who buys them will watch the video that we post where I'm announcing names and pulling up and showing them the storyboard. So everybody can watch the video and see every storyboard.
That is going to be awesome. That is going to be
so
cool.
And I'm sure everybody's going to watch. I'm sure everybody's gonna watch the auction to see what the baby sells for.
Oh my, I need to. Because if it's not me buying that baby, I need to know who it is that I need to go like find, you know? There's some weird shit. I want that baby. I've already got some weird props in here. I've got a severed foot. I could go with the newborn. That could be cool.
I mean, I don't know who's gonna buy it, but that's a heck of a conversation piece.
Yeah, I would actually put it in like a nice dish on my table so when people come over they could see I'm far more motherly than they had originally presumed I was. So look how peaceful. All right, Stephen. Before we go ahead and like part ways here, do you want to tell us about any more upcoming projects you have? Is there anything else we can be looking out for from you and Unearthed Films that we should be super excited about, but maybe just quite haven't heard the announcements on before?
Yeah, we did a 4K restoration and color correction on a movie called The Unnameable. It's based off of H.P. Lovecraft story from the 80s. A lot of people are excited about that. We got a movie called Night Wish. There's some new movies that we're getting ready to announce. One is Demiziano Cristofaro's Torment, which is a John Wayne Gacy type of movie.
Ooh.
And the thing is, it's so extreme that we can't even put it out through normal distribution.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to we're starting up a Too Extreme for Mainstream label.
Hey.
To where the only way you can buy it is if you buy it from us.
That'll be good. And you know what? That makes me think I need to get a new copy of a Serbian film too. So when you guys get that, you let me know, because it would turn out the one that I bought had nowhere marked on it that it was edited, but it has over 45 minutes of the film cut out, so it's like an hour and 15 minutes long. It's so censored that it destroyed the film.
Oh, was it the BBC cut?
I don't think so. It didn't say that on the pack. It didn't say on the package anywhere. I got it off Amazon, so it was it didn't even say it was cut. Sad.
Oh well, that's why we're putting out the full uncut version, and we're also working on an extended cut.
Oh my gosh, I'm all over these.
So that'll be 7.5 minutes longer.
I'm also Unnameable, so that's gonna be a really cool one too. You guys have so much great stuff coming out between the documentary, the Guinea Pig series, the Lovecraftian future that we have coming up here. I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight, and behalf on everyone, keep up the good fucking work, man.
Oh, thank you. It's my life.
This is my life.
And I thank you for finding me and giving me the opportunity to talk to you and whoever's going to listen.
For sure. Now, can you just let us all know, everyone that doesn't already follow you on Facebook, Twitter, where we can all look for you on social media?
You can find me personally at Stephen Biro, Facebook.com/Stephen Biro, or Facebook.com/Unearthed Films. Twitter is Twitter.com/Unearthed Films. Really just do a /Unearthed Films and you'll find everything.
It's simple. We appreciate that. That's user friendly. All right. Thank you so much, Stephen. I can't wait to get back in touch after seeing some of the new work and maybe after some more announcements on your documentary. So again, thank you, and you have a great evening.
Yeah, you too.